What's up, guys? Today we're gonna finally start off a new series after we finished that Flappy Man, not a Flappy Bird. And guess what? Now it's a pen platformer. It's actually a challenge for me because it's like almost my first time playing around with pens. I usually don't use pens, so. Okay, start off with making a pen costume, a pen sprite, not a costume, and then let's go to the codes. And then obviously to create a pen platformer, you have to go down here, click on that, get the pen extension. Now let's start off with getting some variables. Our first one is going to be scroll X, because yeah, I'm gonna make it into a scrolling pen platformer game, and scroll Y. And then a few more. Let's have a player. No. Let's have player X and player Y. Okay, that's good enough for now. Okay, so let's do when green flag is clicked, let's reset all the variables. So basically we've set all 4 variables to 0. Okay, just saying, guys, what was I trying to say? It doesn't matter, I guess. Okay, because I want it to be, I'm gonna set my platform color to black. And let's set our pen size to 5 because 1 is way too thin. Now forever, let's erase all. So basically we're gonna refresh the platform every tick because it might have scrolled. Also, yeah, I just remembered what I was going to say. I was going to say that today we're just going to get the basic platform and the player done, I think, if we have time. So let's go to my blocks, create a block, and we're going to create a block called render. This is going to render our player and our map. So let's put that under the erase all. In the render, it is actually very, very simple because it's going to be made totally out of other blocks, like a new other custom blocks. We're going to create a new one, draw line, or actually before we do that, remember to make a render block in run without screen refresh form. And let's continue. Draw line at X, Y, and then you're gonna add a text, a label, and you're gonna write player size equals, and then input size. Run without screen refresh and click OK. That's a pretty big block, but it doesn't matter. So let's get that block. Okay, we're gonna input 0 and 0. And, ooh, I sort of messed up. So, okay, we're gonna delete the size and delete player size. We can get rid of that at. I accidentally messed up with the player rendering one. So, we're gonna add a label, name it 2, and then X and Y. So it goes like this: draw a line, XY to XY. That's good. That is really good. Okay, for test, let's do draw line 0, 0 to 100, 100. Okay, now we're gonna get draw line. This is really simple. Just do pen up, and then go to. It's basically a simple scrolling code. Let's get 2 subtractions. Ooh, this is not good. Okay, we can name this X2 and Y2. Now that we've fixed that problem, we're going to continue with this. Let's get the X over here and the Y over here. We're gonna go get the scroll X on here and scroll Y in here. And pen down. You duplicate these 2 because, yeah, that's how it works. And let's go get that pen up. We can leave that scroll X. Replace the X and Y with X2 and Y2. And basically that's it. Now it'll start drawing your platform, which is a line, because we made it so it'll draw a line. Pretty simple. Now that we have the line, we're gonna render in our player. Make a block, and then let's name it render player at x, y. And then let's do player size equals number input size. Let's run without screen refresh. Select run without screen refresh. Actually, don't like run without screen refresh, but set it to run without screen refresh. Okay. For that, we're going to need draw line and draw line and draw line and draw line, and so four of them. But you can only take out one of them because we can duplicate the rest. Let's get the plus and another addition, another addition. The last one's going to be a subtraction. Okay. We could do size on all these second slots. So I mean like right here, like that. And then we'll get y and x, x and y. Sort of like that. And that'll make up a good first line. We can duplicate that and change the first x plus size to x minus size. And then we can change this to y minus size. That will draw our second line. We can duplicate that, change this to a y plus size. And then change this to a x minus size. That'll do good. Now let's duplicate it. And we'll change these two to addition. So we can duplicate that, and we can duplicate this. So looks pretty nice. Yeah, we have to put this somewhere, and that is going to be in the render block. So let's go to my blocks, render player at player x and player y. With player size, we could put 10. Basically, the player size is actually going to be 2 times big as the size you input, so make sure you choose it wisely. And then now let's show all 4 variables. Let's double click on them. So, okay, it's sort of lagging out. Yeah. If you double click on the variable, it'll change its form. Let's do it until all of them are sliders. So there you go. And there you go. Now I'm going to just organize it a little, sort of like that. And then you can right click on it, change slider range, minimum value to -100. And that would be good, because we could play around better with it. And you could do that to all 4 of them, like so. Okay, now if we click the green flag, we see the player right there. If you see, our player can move around like that, and the map scrolls too. But if you see, our player is moving with the map, which I say isn't so good. But that's not the problem today. Because, yeah, it's not a problem today. We'll create a block, name it platform, and then we'll put number input, gravity, number input, jump height. And then let's click that run without screen refresh. And we could drag the platform before it renders, because rendering always should be the last. Like, this platform basically is a data update, and the data shouldn't update after it has rendered. It should do it before it renders. So, makes sense, doesn't it? If it doesn't, I can't help you. Yee. Okay, we can drag that down. Oh, actually, we need 2 more variables. Let's do y velocity and x velocity. Player x, player y, and x velocity and y velocity can be for the sprite only variable, but it doesn't really matter, so it's your choice. Okay, now let's set our y velocity to our gravity, and then if, and we can go get an and block, and one more variable, and that is in air, because we can't use like if touching or anything. We need that variable. If equals in air equals 0. If you can see, I actually use like no color detection variable. That's really because I don't know how you use it. Like, I technically do, but I usually don't mess around with them because they have this weird range of how it works and it doesn't. And I feel more comfortable with just having more sprites. Okay, let's get a key space pressed. This is the key you're gonna press to jump, so you guys can choose it. Let's set in air to 1 and set our y velocity to jump height. And let's go up to this when green flag is clicked because we have to reset variables. Let's set in air to 1, which basically means that your character is in the air. And the reason why I set it to 1 is probably your character's going to start in midair. Now let's set x velocity to 0, y velocity to 0 when the game starts. And then we can move on. Now we can get change x velocity by times 1.5 in the second section. And then we could get a subtraction operator. And let's go get a key right arrow is pressed and a key left arrow is pressed. We could do right arrow pressed, subtract, left arrow pressed. How this works is if your right arrow is not pressed, it's false, which basically equals 0. If it is pressed, it's true, which basically is a 1. So yeah, if it makes sense to you, good for you. You understand Scratch. It's like how it works. Not only Scratch, but generally in coding. Let's get a set x velocity to, let's get a multiplication operator. In the second block, we can put in 0.8, and the first one, we will put in x velocity. This will give you some frictions, but also some of that gliding smoothing effect, which is nice. Let's change our player x by our x velocity, which I'm not going to put in right now because I have to make it so we also have to change player y by. So let's fit in that x velocity and y velocity, and that should make it so we could finally move. Yeah. Okay, that in-air thing is in there, so. Okay, let's make it so it's sort of like that. Now if you see, we're jumping, and then we can like move around. But if you see, we can hold space to go up because we don't have that in-air thing. But if we put that back, yeah. And if you see, we don't have any collisions yet because we didn't code the collisions yet. But we can see our basic player moving. We have our platform basics being done. So yeah, that's pretty nice. In the next episode, we are going to make some collisions and a few more things. So yeah, I think that was good enough. I don't want the videos to go like too long. That's a good amount of code for a single video, so peace.